What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to Murals in the Market Live every Saturday at 11 a.m. I'm Jason Hall, the owner and founder of Ride Detroit. I can't stop laughing because I usually get to the spot early. And then I try to have a little conversation with, whoever the artist is, get a little prep going on. I mean, it was definitely easy to do today because my guests today are Dan and Jesse, the founders of Murals in the Market, One Times Run, 323 East, man. And so why I say, I'm laughing is because this could have been a 4-hour interview, man. I had to literally say, let's stop talking about this craziness and all this stuff right now. So we're about to get into the beginning. We're going to try to fit it into 40 minutes. I don't know if it can be done, but we're going to do our best to do it. Today we are coming to you live from the 323 East. We're not. See, we were talking about 323 East so much that it's like stuck in my head, man. And trust me, I'm laughing. The old days. We're at the One Times Run headquarters, and we are going to go inside. We are going to get a tour of the place from the fellas while we're talking about what's going down. But before I get into that, I gotta say thank you to everybody who partook in last week's live. Like I said, my brain is all over the place, man. Thank you. I'm going to get into this right now because if I keep talking, I'm going to screw this up. So let's just get going inside right now, man. Let's see who's at the office.
What's up, Jason? How you doing, man?
What's up, brother? Man, I was trying to do my intro and my brain is so all over the place because the last 30 minutes was probably the most amazing 30 minutes I've had. So I was talking about how we have to really stay focused on what we're talking about. And let's talk about the beginning of this, but let's get into Murals in the Market and show people around, man, because not everybody gets to see home base.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, welcome everybody. We started Murals in the Market about 6 years ago now. It's just a small idea to do a mural festival here in Eastern Market, and it's been a ride that it's mind-blowing to think of what we've been able to accomplish. But I'm here today at One Time Run's headquarters with my partner Dan, and we're going to come on in and going to show you guys around what we do here at the studio.
Yo.
What's up?
How you doing?
What's going on, Dan, man? So, fellas, you're going to have to stand kind of close to each other because of Instagram Live. There we go. You don't have to hold hands, but you do have to be kind of close. But you guys are close anyway. But let's start at the very beginning, man, because, Murals in the Market is not the end, but it's just part of a long trail of stuff. So I posted a video on my Instagram this week, and both of you guys saw that, man, from the second anniversary of 323 East, you guys' first gallery in Royal Oak. Let's go way back. Where did you guys, first of all, even meet?
You can read it on One X Run's website. It's under the 10-year anniversary banner. But, yeah, we met while Dan was painting graffiti, and I was working on a graffiti documentary.
Okay.
I was going to CCS or some graffiti jam at St.
Tell me about the moment. Do you remember the moment?
Yeah. It was, we created 323s. We did shows for years. We never made any money on that. If anything, we put money into kind of building that out. We started One Time Run, and it was actually, a year or two maybe in, we're going to our jobs, kind of working and going and doing that every night after. And eventually it hit that point where it really started to take off. We were selling stuff out, and we both kind of looked at each other. We're like, I think it's time. And I quit my job in advertising, and Jesse had a marketing agency, dropped all his clients, and we just started going to work and been doing it ever since.
So took that proverbial leap of faith, man. You heard about what was going down. And so I was like, kind of like, what is popping off, man? And I was really inspired to leave what I was doing because of what you cats were doing. So that's when you guys first got on my radar. Is I was like, all right, so they're willing to leave their job.
Fate and faith, right? So it's like we think if we put our hearts into it, that good things will come out of it. And so, I mean, when I left my job, to before we moved to 323, and then you left your job after, and I had some clients in between there. I think I had like a couple clients that book a job, and I said, look, I think I could pay the rent for 3 months. So that was my cushion. And so I think that was kind of the moment where I was like, if I got a client that booked the 3 months, I think I could do this. But I think what you said is when we started doing at our first art shows at 323 East, and Dan and I had worked downtown prior to that, and we had a hard time bringing clients downtown. And we were talking about earlier, the only places to kind of eat lunch was the arcade bar or Lafayette. So it wasn't really much going on. And I mean, we sat in our office at 1001 Woodward, which we had the whole floor. And we watched them build campus marches.
Right.
So then we moved out to Royal Oak because there was a little bit more of a downtown, vibrant downtown, walkable, that kind of thing going on, which we didn't really have in downtown Detroit at that time. And, we opened up this little gallery, and we, I think our whole thing was like, how do we like get press so people know we're here? Because we worked in news media, right? And so we said, look, we read the laws, and we said, if we paint a mural on this building, we're not in violation of the ordinances for signs. And if they come and tell us we can't have no art, it'll be great for our business because we'll put out a press release.
Right.
So we kind of were taunting the authorities a little bit. We didn't really know what they were going to do. But what that did, that first mural that we did out there, and the second mural, so every year, on our birthday at 323, which was in April, we would do murals, and we would bring out the barbecue, and we would paint live murals. And you sent us a segment that you did, a video segment of there with, I remember Kobe Solomon was there painting, and we were working on a book release with him. And so, yeah, I mean, that's kind of how we got there. But I think Dan and I, every day, we would go in, we would put in the work. It was never about how much money am I going to get today or for this or for that project. We were like, look, if we scrape it together and we do a deal, we got a project, and we have enough cash to get to the next project, we'll do it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was like, 27 years old. I'd found a good job in advertising. It was like good money, and it was kind of a long process to really weigh that decision. Like, should I leave this and the security of it and all of that comes along with that to kind of do this. And eventually it just hit that point where it was like, we have to do this. The opportunity's here. And it was definitely a huge risk for all of us, like taking pay cuts and just doing what we had to do. But I think in the long run, we knew that something special was happening, that wasn't just going and us working for somebody else and dealing with the politics of, kind of everything. And, really just kind of creating what we thought was missing in the art community here too, right. Especially being fans of like art and art movement and the graffiti movement and all that stuff. Like it was definitely lacking here, after C-pop stuff closed. It was really the only place in town for kind of the art I was into, to see. So I think we kind of filled that void, and we knew we could, like, it was our time to like take that ball and run with it. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. So,
You want me to show you around a
I was
little
gonna
bit
say,
here?
let's not stand at the door, man. I got this sassy gimbal, so let's go and walk
All right,
around.
so we just got these new boxes in. We just did a rebrand for our
Yeah.
10-year anniversary, so it's the new logo, the new look. Boxes are in, kind of like this is how it's set up. We're getting ready for our holiday promotion, so these are all the products that will go in mystery tubes and mystery boxes. So we're getting ready to pack those up. And I'll just take you over here to the flat file area, and we kind of just show you guys a little bit of our history.
Look at these, man. How many prints do you think are in? Do you know how many are in these?
There's a lot. But if you kind of go through these flat files, you can see like a little bit of our history. There's like everything that we had done, we saved a couple of them. And so one time Ron celebrated his 10-year anniversary last Sunday. Dan and I were at his kitchen table working side by side like we were 10 years ago, launching it. And it was really a magical moment for us. But yeah, we kept a little piece of history of everything that we've ever done. And these flat files kind of tell these stories,
Look at this. So can you still purchase any of this stuff, or is this just archival stuff?
Some of it you can purchase, some of it you can't,
We definitely try to hold on to a couple just for the future, and then I think when we do have a couple, we can trickle out and we find them again. And,
Yeah, is that how it works? You're like looking through stuff and you just find
pretty much
something. You're like, oh
It's a
man.
pretty solid inventory list, but I mean, there's thousands of these.
How about this?
So who was the first artist that you guys, for the first print you did?
Matt Eaton.
We did a print with Matt Eaton on November 1st of 2010. Check this one out. This is a Rick Williams print, very, very limited. It's Rick went and did a photo shoot of the Silver Dome before they tore it down.
Rick, man, if you got one of those, Rick, I need that.
Yeah, well, there's only 3 of them here. Look at this.
3 of them.
Who's that?
That's Shades.
That's Shades, right? So, it's cool. This drawer's got a little bit of Detroit history in it. And what about this one?
Oh, that's a old Sheepy.
Look at that.
That's like one of the first Sheepy prints that we ever did.
Woo.
So, in here, it's like really tells our story. And the cool thing about publishing is that it's kind of like an archival history of our, you can have art shows and all that stuff, and the art kind of comes and goes. But like with publishing, like as long as you hold on to a couple, it sticks around.
Well, it's crazy too, because like as many prints as there are in here, as many artists as that I've worked with over the years. Sometimes I can't remember what I ate for dinner 2 days ago, but I can remember every single one of these prints.
Right.
And every single artist, and it's
Tylon Sawyer.
Look at that.
Look at that's Trump's face back there. That's Trump's silhouette. And we released this one on, I think, MLK Day a year or 2 ago. How about this one? Scott Hocking from the Mural Festival, 17 Shitty Mountains. We published a small edition of these with Scott, and they weren't super popular at the time, but we got them. Boom. When Tyree Guyton did Gold Street, which was in, what is that, Shed 4?
Yep.
We painted the street. Actually, the Hi-Los drove over it and they repaved it, so it went away. But this is the concept drawing for him to do his murals in the market. And we actually published a print of it to commemorate it. And, I got a small little stack of those.
How do you not put this all up in your house, man? That's what. Do you just like, you know what I mean? Like I always imagine it being like a sponsorship. You just grab one of every print that comes off, you know what I mean? Come on, kick it. You know you got a stack somewhere, right?
You recognize this?
Yeah, that's hygienic.
And where's that from?
That's the cut.
That's in the cut.
Yeah,
so
man.
they wanted to make a print, and so this is a multi-process print. It's a letter press.
Look at that gold.
And
there,
a screen print.
Man.
I think there's something real tasty under here. That's Jeanette Beckham. Those ones are damaged. Do not sell. But
I like the damage, dude.
How about this?
I like the damage.
Yeah, you want that damaged one?
You know I do.
It's got a small stack of these. This is Kevin Lyons. He did this. This is his Detroit jazz inspiration. So this is actually the mural that's on Gratiot, right above Louisiana Gumbo.
Yep.
And so it's like, he's got Yusuf Lateef, has, Detroit roots, Proof, Donald Byrd, Coltrane,
And you-
T3,
and
Dilla.
once again, you can't get this, right? You can't
can't
get
buy
this,
it, no, man.
So you're not just
I only
making
got a
me
short
mad. You're upsetting a lot of people, man. This is crazy.
How about this Jesse Castle?
Come on.
There's 2 of those, you know. So like these are just like this is a little bit of our history.
And just you keep talking, but look at all these files.
I mean, every one of them has multiple stories in them of like events that we did, exhibitions, murals, you know, ideas that people came to us with, you know.
So when did you guys decide to do murals? You know, we got up to 323. Well, we're kind of skipping. Let's go from 323 was interstate, right?
Yeah, but we started doing murals at 323. Really, it was
Okay.
the first kind of spot we really started doing them because we had the canvas on the side of the gallery. We had our little birthday jam.
Yeah.
You know, we had some artists come out and paint, and then from there, we would just kind of refresh that for a show or for a moment we're doing, and that's kind of where it all.
I think the big moment was 2012 is, so we had started one time run in 2010, but basically 2011, right? It was November. And then Revoke moved to Detroit, and he came by the gallery, and he said, hey, I got a sponsorship with the paint company. The Seventh Letter was a t-shirt company. They were looking to do a project in Detroit. And he came to us and with Matt Eaton, and they said, we want to do this project, and we're going to call it the Detroit Beautification Project.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, you know, at that time there was still a lot of graffiti in Detroit, and we had Dave Bing was our mayor, you know.
It was smashed.
And it was smashed. So we actually, it was not a mural festival. It was basically like a citywide graffiti jam.
Yep.
And so not only did they work with some local writers, but also they brought in like writers from New York and LA and all around the world. They came in. And so we did a print release, and we raised money, and we flew in all these artists. And so that was kind of like, and Matt had a lot of locations. He had locations in Hamtramck. He had locations on Pony Ride. Yep. And so, you know, Jason brought all the artists, pretty much brought all the artists in, the video crew and all that. Me and Dan, you know, kind of helped fund it by selling art prints. And we did a citywide. It was a week long. I mean, it was not a mural festival. It was graffiti.
No.
It was letters.
I straight up. So Matt, I don't know if you guys have, and I've said it in interviews, but back then, I was just getting my feet wet in biking. Matt called me, and he's like, "Yo, we're doing this thing called the Detroit Beautification Project. You should do tours." And so before I did tours with you guys, I was already doing them with Matt way back in the day, so it just made sense.
And the Detroit Bus Company also started doing tours of the Detroit Beautification Project at that time as well. I think they're ad hoc. It wasn't like you could just go book them. They did a one-off. Yeah. So, you know, I think it's cool when we kind of look back on it. Like, we did not only do the Detroit Beautification Project in 2012, but, you know, fast forwarding all the way to last year, we did about 60 murals for the City of Detroit's City Walls project,
right?
It was our project that we worked on with the General Services Department, and I think 8 or 9 artists. You know, we just completed 8 murals with the ACLU to get out the vote.
Yep.
You know, so like from these kind of like doing our graffiti jams on the side of our building to maybe piss off the authorities so we can get a little pub on our spot. You know, it turned into this like. But we told this story the other day. Like, our first art shows were called Barbecued Artist. We would have a little barbecue. We would bake out the barbecue, and we would have that's what we call it.
Carve off a little section of the wall, hang a couple pieces up there.
Right,
barbecue.
We did when you came out there to do your video, and we had a barbecue.
Yeah.
You know, when we started the Mural Festival, we broke out the barbecue. All the way to the last year of the Mural Festival, we got to rent a barbecue that comes on a tow truck.
Yeah.
It's so big, it's got to be towed.
Yeah, man.
You know, so like the barbecue has always kind of been it's our central character. That's been about like when you break out a barbecue, you know, you break out the spirit of togetherness and community and sharing a meal together and sharing a meal with a stranger. You know, there's so much about this communal process of like, we're outside, we're on the street, we're making art for the public. The food is open for anybody. You know, and the venue is open for anybody to walk in. So, like, I think that's kind of been the genesis of, like, barbecue is really an important part of our history.
Okay. I've partaken of that barbecue. Yes, I know it's an important part of the festival for me as well. It's just that come together. You know what I mean? It's like you said, everybody's down for a barbecue. But it just takes it for a second. Everybody's like, okay, we're here for art, but hold up, man. Let's just chill for a second and cipher with the fam, dude. So, all right. So are we stopping here? Where's the next
go
stop?
Upstairs.
Let's go. I'm following you.
All right.
Come on. Man, come on.
So, when we closed, Interstate was kind of, I don't know, it was tough, but it was good. We had to make a transition.
Yep.
You can't do it forever. And so we moved here in 2017 after we moved out of Interstate. And it was just a better facility for us. But this is our office.
And you guys don't do tours of this. So the gallery was a gallery. This is the workspace.
Yeah.
So
it was full on kind of retail. We had normal hours. People would be in every day. People, from all over the world would really stop by there. And on one hand, it was amazing because you just have, every day was different. Somebody would be showing up. They want to stay there and make art in our studio and everything. But it was a lot, to kind of do what we're doing online and also kind of have this every day. You don't know what's going to happen. So I think when we kind of transitioned away to this spot, really let us kind of focus on what we're doing on
the work.
Time run and the work and the publishing.
Absolutely. And there's plans. We'll talk about, there's going to be some gallery stuff, gallery space. We'll talk about that. I don't know if we can see that yet.
Yeah.
But we can talk a little, but let's talk about, okay,
All
so.
right, you ready to crack it open? Is it fresh? Hot off the press?
Man, come on.
Let's crack it open here.
Now, looks like I'm taking this one home with me. Man, look, man, I'm about to go raid those.
We got a little knife on here.
I'm about to go
All right,
raid
here we go.
those.
We're getting here, ready?
Ooh.
Sheepy's new print. We put it up on sale on Wednesday. This one's called Money Man. There's 3 editions of 100. They sold out in under 10 minutes. But over here you can see that there's the blue colorway and the red colorway. And what's really cool is these are actually made by ESP, which is a screen printing shop in Eastern Market.
Yeah.
And they're on the street that Sheepy used to live in when Sheepy lived in Eastern Market. So our network still kind of really centralizes around a real small area. But yeah, Sheepy's new 10 color screen print sold out. You can't get it. If you got it, good luck.
That was amazing.
Congratulations.
Oof. Oh, Sheaf is working hard right now, man. Is he, he was talking about, some of the work that he's doing. You guys donated some money through some projects that you guys did with Sheaf, right?
I think Sheepy, was, really helped guide our voice through the pandemic and through the Black Lives Matter movement. And we did a project with him. And I'm sorry, I don't recall the actual. It's a billboard project. It's a nonprofit, and so not only have we done stuff for the pandemic, we've done stuff this year for Black Lives Matter and donated. I think Sheepy, I recall one of the main people that he wanted to support with the funds that we raised from that release. We went to Norwest Gallery. Mm-hmm. And we matched his donation to Norwest Gallery. Yep. So it's now it's cool that we're able to participate and that Sheepy's fans and our collectors can build this kind of foundation, and that money goes directly back into the community. It's really cool, and he chooses them, and then we support that. So yeah, this is our studio. We used to work here every day. Now we work from home, but we do have a handful of people that work in the building, and this is a Ron English sculpture that we came out with, I think, last year.
Yep. I was looking at those the other day, and I wanted to ask you about those.
These are new. This is a Ron English. It's called his Grin, and these are for sale right now as a part of our 10-year anniversary collection.
Yeah.
And I was telling you, you were like, "Oh, you got some stuff to show us," and I was like, "There's just always stuff up here because it comes in and out." This is the artist. You might want to go around the other side. See him face up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is Marley McFly, and so these are hand-painted multiples, and Marley lives in Washington, D.C., and he's done about 4 releases this year, and each one of them has sold out, within minutes. So, I kind of feel like this is an opportunity that we see that, actually, that's Sheepy McFly, and this is actually Marley McFly, so we got 2 McFlys on the crew. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is some new stuff that we're working on.
And you've worked with, that's got to be, not to be corny, but it's got to be kind of rewarding to work with a lot of these artists that are coming up and really see them do their thing, man. You know what I mean? Because you guys have been working with Sheaf since the beginning.
Yeah, he would just come into Interstate Gallery as a fan, or maybe he even came to 323s. I mean, the one guy that I always, just get so overwhelmed with emotion and joy is Phil Simpson.
Yeah, man.
Like Phil's painted the Mural Festival, but he used to come to our gallery on a Saturday with his camera, and he would stay for hours. And he told me one day, he goes, "You were always so nice to me." And I was like, I just was nice to everybody. I didn't know I was making a relationship. And then many years later, now we work with Phil.
Right.
So I think we're blessed. But yeah, man, we're working with a lot of people over the years.
Yeah, and I think it is really cool to see people come up and like guys like Sheepy, it's like he is just down. He works hard. He's always doing something and hustling. And I think he kind of appreciates the advice and the knowledge that we have just, in doing this so long. And it's the perfect kind of relationship when somebody like trusts you, we trust them, and we're just like building this, machine with him almost, and he's really kind of just cruising now. So I think it's pretty awesome to see people just come up through that process and then just start crushing it and selling out 300 prints in 10 minutes.
Right. To quote him, I quote him literally every week. Getting money in a pandemic, man. That dude is an inspiration. I go home and I'm like, his social media presence alone, I'm like, I gotta work. You know what I mean? Like,
and he's selling $100 pieces.
You know what I mean? I'm like, even smoking weed, I'm like, he's doing that harder than me. I gotta work. I gotta get in there, dude. That's my dude. So, all right. So the first murals in the market now. Let's go to that. You're ready to go from Detroit Beautification, like you said. It's really just this like bomb. We're bombing the city. But now you're like, all right, now we want to talk to Eastern Market. We're focused. Tell me about that process.
I mean, I think the in-between, too, is that we have been a part of a bunch of other mural festivals in other parts of the country and other parts of the world. We started working with Powwow Hawaii, and we were doing like a print show and prints with the artists that were going out to their mural festival. It was on Oahu. It was 2 weeks out there painting murals. We learned a lot just about how they were doing like a proper festival, and I think we did a couple more Seawalls project in Mexico, a couple of years on an island down there, and then Cozumel. We really learned just kind of saw how other people did these festivals and how they were really kind of ran on the production side of things.
Right.
And through that, we're like, we've been doing murals. We've done our own mural festival before mural festivals kind of were a thing. So how do we kind of take this energy that's happening right now all over the world and bring it back here and do it, kind of proper, and really bring like the public into it too, which is something that the Beautification project didn't really have. I mean, people saw it and appreciated it everywhere once the photos got out and they started driving around looking for it, but it was kind of done, in the dark a little bit. And
Absolutely.
People saw it. With this, we really wanted to engage everybody and make them part of it too. So.
Yeah, so you go to Eastern Market, you say, hey, we want to paint on, not we want to paint on walls, but we want to do this festival.
No. It wasn't like that.
It's like, no.
No.
Right.
So, Nightshos is an artist from Vienna, and he's part of a crew called The Weird. They're from Berlin. And they were going to come and stay with us, and we met them in Hawaii. And he says, I'm sponsored by the paint company, the same paint company that Revoke was sponsored by, Montana Cans, which we had a relationship with, not a real relationship, but we knew them, they knew us. They knew what we did for the Detroit Beautification Project, and they literally dropped off like 2,000 cans of paint for these 5 Germans and 1 Austrian guy. And they stayed with us for 3 months in 2013. And they did the Welcome to Eastern Market mural that's up Gratiot. I said, look, why don't you make it say Welcome to Eastern Market, be like an entry to the neighborhood. And they were like, bet we'll do that. And then all the characters there they created their own characters out of people from Gratiot Central.
Okay.
So that's like all those characters. So then they went on the side of the Butcher's Inn, and they did like the fat Americans like eat hamburgers and drink Slurpees, and people were a little offended, right? But these Germans, we rented them 2 scissor lifts, and they stayed here for months painting murals. They were actually in the Anthony Bourdain special on Detroit, painting their mural. So, after that happened, Dan Carmody hit us up, and he had already welcomed us to the neighborhood when we moved in.
Yeah.
When we bought the building at 1410 Gratiot, we moved interstate there. Randall Fogelman and it was a director there at Eastern Market, and Dan Carmody came and brought us cookies. I remember that. And they said, "Welcome to the neighborhood. What are you guys up to?" So that's what they were doing to people in the neighborhood. So Carmody says, what do you guys think about building the program around murals? And I said, where do you get the money? You know, and he says, look, we raise nonprofit. We're nonprofit. We raise money in Eastern Market. And so at that time, you know, Rilla David, my wife, was working at Red Bull, and she had built House of Art.
Yep.
And I mean, they were building community there, right? And those shows were really intense. And she was getting ready to transition out of there. And we said, hey, you know, we've been to Hawaii. We did the powwow thing. They give us tours of these islands and teach us about the island ways. I was like, well, we could teach people about Detroit. Yep. We got music and Motown, and we got the automotive, and we got the Packard plant. Like, we could give a great tour. We got, you know, the Heidelberg Project and the African Bead Museum. Like, let's bring people here and show them how we do it in Detroit.
Absolutely.
And I'll tell you the most special thing about the Mural Festival is that we never build the out-of-town artists. It's more priority than local artists. They're alphabetized and all the same size on the flyer. What happened was, and you can see this in people's murals today, is that the out-of-town traveling artists taught techniques to the local artists that they still use in their craft and practice today. So we got to teach our friends about Detroit, and they taught us about the international mural movement and how to do gigantic murals. So that genesis, and people don't realize, it brought a groundswell of knowledge and training and apprenticeship to our community. And now we have one of the most robust, independent, entrepreneurial-based mural businesses. You can go down the line. Freddie Diaz, Tony Hooligan, Cindy James. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And before the Mural Festival, maybe there wasn't a huge knowledge base about people that were looking for murals in their residence or in their businesses. You know, like, it's just like, it's top of mind. And it's top of mind, and the skill set matches the top of mind. And that creates an economy onto its own.
Right, man. And that's what I talk about that every week too. You know, every artist is doing so much work, but it's really what they've learned from other artists, you know, being up on social lists, from them. And especially like when you talk to a Skew One, he talks about Sidney James. They talked the week before I even did their interview, and they just kick it. You know what I mean? Like, bouncing ideas off each other. So that's what's awesome about this family, man. I always talk about that. You not only get up in the game as far as learning art, and commercially and marketing wise get up in the game, but intellectually, man, you learn from so many greats.
And just networking with those people and like becoming friends with them. And we've seen so many people over the years just do their first mural, you know, at one of these festivals, and then go on to like build careers as mural artists.
Absolutely.
You know, and travel and go paint with some of the people that they painted here with,
Yep.
you know, and it's so cool to kind of see that happen. And
who can you think of off the top of your head that did their first mural that was like, is there anybody that you said, hey, we'd like for you to do a mural? Because I always say a lot of these artists maybe weren't mural artists. Murals in the market made them mural artists. Was there anybody who was like, no, I don't do murals, that you were like, nah, you're going to do a mural?
I think more, it's not who had done a mural. I mean, because like it can be debated of when who did what when. So I think what we say is like it just created an opportunity for people to go bigger. What's the hardest thing to paint a mural? Get the wall?
I don't know.
Get a lift? Get some paint? Learn how to paint at scale? Like, all these things are very complicated. Like, even artists that are very accomplished can paint murals. What is it? I need a like, look at Pat Perry's mural that's on Gratiot, on the 3-story one. Would that lift cost like, I don't know, $5,000 to rent? Do you know what I mean? So like, what's the impedance? The impedance is that he's not going to come up with $5,000, and nobody's going to pay him to do that.
Right.
So, you know, like, these are all the elements that were a recipe for success. Is money from the William Davidson Foundation, the Knight Foundation. You know, like, we got Eastern Market helped us fundraise. That money went directly back into a program that actually taught people job skills. Right. Because like it's not like I can paint a mural, but like, how do I paint a gigantic mural? Well, like, I need a $5,000 piece of equipment, and I need $4,000 in paint.
I mean, just to start, you're $10,000 minimum.
And murals gives them that.
The fundraising element of that, and the act of doing the mural festival gives that. I mean,
generates that.
If you just called and said, "Hey, Jesse, we want to go do a mural down the street," you know, like, oh, okay, well, like, where's the cash coming from?
Right.
Because the lift's going to cost you $3,000 to get it out there. You're gonna have $1,800 in paint. You gotta buff it, and you gotta have people out there, and then the ground is not level. The ground's not level, and then
you get those calls, don't you? You get those calls like, "Yo, let's just do a mural."
Then the generator stops working. You know, it's like it's a construction site on its own, and the Mural Festival. I mean, we doing 50 construction sites at a time on the street in Eastern Market, and I tell you what, some of the most glorious, memorable moments of my life is like driving the golf cart around, the sun setting. People are jamming. People are taking photos. The music's coming out of the warehouse. It's like that's just like I couldn't ask for anything more.
No, man. The energy that happens during that week in the city of Detroit is amazing. Not even just the fact that you can go see amazing art, but you can actually see it happening. And every time, when I do tours, people always say, I've been to the festival and it's the best weekend. I come from all over the world, man. Do you have any memorable? Has anybody walked up to you and just been like, look, I'm here from China. I'm here from, because we used to get that all the time on the bike ride. Has anybody ever just thanked you for like really what you guys do? It's other than me, because I thank you in every email.
I mean, a lot of people do. It's hard to kind of think back to something super memorable because there's been a lot. I mean, get a lot of people from all over and a lot of appreciation from just fans and random people on the street and people you don't expect,
Right.
Yeah, man, it's pretty wild.
No, man. Now, a lot of people see you guys as the pioneers of what's happening around here with all of this. So it's Detroit puts a lot on people's shoulders. They always say, you guys are the first ones that did this. Thank you. Even though, like you said, you might not be, you're just revolutionizing things. But like, do you ever deal with is there ever a moment where you're just like, this shit's too much, man? Like, this shit's just too much.
I think every year, after the Mural Festival, I think, one of us quit or we said we're never going to do it again. And then 1 month later, we're like, all right, what's the date on the next one,
Right. You know what I mean? Because you can't stop.
Look, I'm going to tell you the difference between us. What makes us different is that we're not driven by profit. We're driven by community. Mm-hmm. And we're driven by something that's more important than the goal of just trying to get cash. Yeah. We need cash to get the engine running. But every year we announce the Mural Festival, we got a 3-year grant from the Knight Foundation, year 1, 2, 3. So it was 20% of our budget. We're like, let's go. We got foundation, right? Each year we never had the money. I mean,
I think 4 out of 5 years we put up money to do it, out of our pockets. And I think the first year, we put up a substantial amount of money just because, you even with the help of Eastern Market and everybody else, it's like graffiti festival, bringing all these graffiti artists into town. What is that? No sponsor is going to necessarily want to be the first one to put their name on that one and have it not go well. So I think people were kind of leery about it, not sure, just because people outside of Detroit or people in Detroit didn't really kind of see what was happening outside of Detroit, and that it was huge in other parts of the world. So
you guys had to educate people too.
That's what the first one really was. Yeah. Was this is, hey, look, everyone had a great time. Nobody did anything illegal. Nobody was out there smashing graffiti all up and down the street. Right. These are legitimate artists and professionals. And I think with that first one, we really kind of opened people's eyes to wow, this is not just a graffiti thing. This is just art at a big scale,
It's Detroit's, the cool thing is there's so many outdoor public art spaces, right? Mm-hmm. And I think for me, coming down to the city when I was, in my late teens, I ended up at the Heidelberg Project. One of my mentors is dabbles at the African Bee Museum. I go there to learn knowledge.
Yep.
Why do these guys build these things, these art parks? Mm-hmm. And you go, I drove down Heidelberg Street yesterday at 6:30 p.m. Tyree was out there cleaning.
Yep.
That's real. And so I'm inspired. We're inspired by them, as that's where we learned it from. And we said, okay, how do we create our own art park? Well, when Eastern Market and Rula and everybody was like, yo, we can do this Mural Festival here. It was like, yo, bet. We got our own Heidelberg. Not saying that we got the legacy or the tenure that they do, but we have a central focal plane, we're a central gathering spot that, you know, can be communal, you know, and that, I think that was really cool to be able to be inspired. We are one of those things. We are one of those stops. We are one thing that makes Detroit a little bit better than it was when we moved out of 1001 Woodward to Royal Oak in 2007. 2007. You know what I mean? It's like, so we were downtown, we went out to the suburbs, we came back, but now it's like, you go, there's a groundswell of shit to do, right? There's stuff that's happening, people that are inspired, like tourism before COVID was here.
Yep.
You know, and I think that's what we've always kind of been aware of is like, you know, we did a campaign, Dan and I did a campaign. It had to be 2005. Oh, when was the Super Bowl? 2005? 2006? Remember that campaign we did? It was called Say Nice Things About Detroit. It was a website we made. And what they wanted, their genesis of this marketing campaign, Lovio George did it. Agency over there in the Cass Corridor. And they said, we want you to sit on an airplane, and when you tell somebody you're from Detroit, because all of us in this metro region are from Detroit, whether you're from Macomb County or you're from downriver, you're still a Detroiter, right? And they wanted people to say nice things about Detroit to other people. That was the campaign.
You guys worked on that.
Do you know what they do now? You know what people do now? They don't need to be told to say nice things.
Right.
Because there is nice things here for us. So it's like, do those things, is it one before the other? Is it all a part of the same? Like, it's a groundswell. Like, you know, we went through a huge crisis here in the city, and we've come out of it on the other side, and we live in a glorious town with good people, and we have great things to, you know, go see and do.
Yeah. I think the fact that, like, we never left here, you know, I think we always kind of appreciated what was happening here, even before I think a lot of other people did, or, you know, a lot of people kind of left here. It was pretty desolate downtown for a while. And I think we always appreciated kind of the history and the history of the arts in Detroit. That's why I think we wanted to show other people that through this process of bringing people into town. And we knew that if you see it, you're going to say good things about it, because we know at the core, like, it's a great place to be, you know. I mean, there's so many kind of magical things that happen in the city of Detroit.
Absolutely. Like I said, man, this could go on forever. Is there anything else you want to show me?
I mean, let's do it. Let's take you down.
Okay.
So, you know, in the next couple of months, the next gallery iteration, Spotlight Detroit, will open.
Buddy.
It's in this building. It's going to be the next layer. It's going to merge what we do with art and music and gathering and community. So let's go down there and check that out.
Do that, man. Yeah. I was wondering if we were going to get to talk about it, or it was a secret. And see, I always give you guys cool stuff. See, you don't get to hang out here. You don't get to hang out here. There's so many miles of corridors in this place. Day, this was just a big, open, cold space, man.
Yeah, so we moved out of Interstate in 2017. We got up and running over here, and like I said earlier, it was kind of bittersweet to close the gallery, but we did it for 5 years. And I thought it wasn't flexible enough to do some of the things that we wanted to do, as far as like we want to show a film, or we want to do something with music, or we want to do something with performance art. Like it was a traditional gallery where you put art on the wall, it was a commodity, and you sold it. And we had great parties. The one thing about those parties is that, you know, when they got going good, is when we had people leave.
Yep.
Like one. Instead of turning the lights off, just turn them down a little bit. Turn the music up. Yep. So the Spotlight, and you know, it's 5,000 square feet. It's kind of like, these are some flat files we got from a collector of ours. Just hit us up and said his company was getting rid of all these flat files, so we went and picked them up yesterday.
Won't take long.
I was going to say, more art going in those.
And you know what? I asked him, I said, do you want us to pay you for them? And he says, for somebody who's done so much for their community, I feel good that I can do something for you. And I was like, I called my dad last night and told him. I was just like, this is crazy, like karma coming back at you, you know?
Right.
The bar area here, you know, and then.
So what's the ETA? Is there one on this being done?
Well, we got the Motor City Match Grant in April of 2018. So, you know, who knows? Like, it's still probably a couple months out.
Okay.
If you go back around to here, this is like the bathroom corridor. Wow. And actually, next Saturday, Detroit Electronic Quarterly is going to do a little record fair here, and we're going to still be under construction, but we're just going to have seat people. We got 4 record vendors. We're going to do a socially distanced record fair, our first kind of event, and you know, let people see it in this raw state. You know,
This is awesome. If anybody who saw this before and is seeing it now and has been following the progress on Instagram can see what it has, you know, how much this has changed. Look at all these flat files, man.
You never can have enough flat files, you know.
All right, so this is the one of my favorite parts about the spot. Why purple?
I mean, purple, you can check a lot of boxes with purple, you know.
And it's I mean, undoubtedly it's a little bit off the beaten path, man. You know what I mean? Is that a concern?
Oh, absolutely not, man. We want to be out the cut, you know. And I think over here, you know, kind of being quiet. Like, look, it's quiet out here right now. It's really beautiful. There's a lot of trees. You know, it feels like you're in a park, but you're in an industrial zone. So
even when Interstate was at, you know, on Gratiot there, I mean, that's a main street. You know, it was a retail block, but there was nothing going on when we moved in over there. You know, like people didn't really go over there for social events
right.
or anything like that. So I think, you know, with art and events like this, like you can bring people anywhere. It doesn't really matter.
Absolutely.
Especially, you know, coming from like the generation of being in abandoned factories, you know, or raves or something like that. The party's there, people are gonna find it and go.
No, I'm not concerned. I just have to ask the questions, man. Well, fellas, man, like I said, this could go on for hours and hours and hours, and I'm glad we got in that free time before this to talk, and we're going to talk after this. But thanks again for giving us the tour, giving us a little background. Congratulations on 10 years, man. That's huge, dude. You know what I mean? That's a milestone that a lot of people don't make it to, man. And you guys are undoubtedly looking at 10 more, man. You know what I mean? So congratulations once again, fellas.
thank you, Jason.
Nah, man. This is so rad. Listen, everybody. I'm a big nerd. So I'm going to go play some more, and I'm going to try to get some of this shit for free because that's how I get down and do my thing.
Let me take this for a second. What? Let's give it up to Jason Hall. He has been one of the most important parts of what we do here in Murals in the Market. His tours and everything that you do is so special, and we're so honored to collaborate with you. And you came to us and you said, I'm starting my new thing, and I'm gonna give tours out here, and we did that. You have been really an important part of what we do, and I thank you for doing that for
Man,
us.
stop this. Like I said, since day one, I've been a fan. Like I said, when I showed up at the first event, I'm not lying, I was a spy. I was like, how are these motherfuckers doing this shit right now? And I've just been lucky enough to be down and be a part of the family, man. So stop, man, because I'm a bitch, man. I'm going to start crying, man. Don't even get me into that. Every week, Murals in the Market live, every Saturday, 11 a.m. Different artists from around the world. We talk to them. We give you the inside. But we also do tours of this shit, all right? So if you would like to do a tour, Ride Detroit does walking and e-bike tours of Murals in the Market. If you would like more information on that, go to ridedetroit.com. If you would like to support the artists and support all the good stuff that is happening over here, go to onetimesrun.com or muralsinthemarket.com, and you can find all the information there. Everybody, as usual, I don't want to go to work after doing this shit. I'm about to just chill for a while. See you guys next Saturday.